Welcome to the Upstate CFO Council. This organization was founded in 2019 by Robert Bendetti in order to provide a networking and educational forum for senior financial executives to share best practices, to discuss current financial issues, and to learn about current topics related to the performance of their job.
Good afternoon, Jamie Pettit. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. It's almost at the end of the day, so you can't get much better than that, right?
No, this is, and I'm excited. This is the best part of my day, getting to talk to folks like you, learn a little bit more about you. And I'm excited for this one because for the second time, I did not send you the questions in advance. And you're just going to be getting hit rapid fire out of nowhere with questions, but I think you can do it. I've always enjoyed getting to talk to you at the meetings and enjoyed your presence. I told you before we started, you're one of the few people who give me a little chuckle or a golf clap when I try to be funny at the meetings. So thank you, sir.
No problem. Glad to oblige, right?
Let me introduce you. Jamie Pettit is the controller and treasurer at Dewar Carolina Coil. Jamie, do you get paid twice for being two things?
Unfortunately, I don't. I oversee two companies. We actually have SSS Management, which is the holding company for Dewar Carolina Coil, which is a conglomeration of iterations of companies that have been passed down for about 100 years, and it's now morphed into Dewar Carolina Coil. So,
Jamie, let me talk to somebody. You need to be getting 3 paychecks for all of that. Jamie, I got you down as getting, and I see some diplomas on the back there. I think you got your undergraduate in accounting from Wofford. Is that correct, sir?
That is correct.
And an MBA from GCU or Grand Canyon University. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And something I think I found out about you that may or may be right. I'm like 50-50 on these. I think maybe you played baseball in college and then taught coach youth baseball after graduating?
That's correct. I did play at Wofford 4 years, 4-year letterman. And back in the day when, we had one scholarship for the whole team. And yes, I have 4 children, or had 4 children that are grown now. And so I got the privilege of at least coaching 3 of those. I wasn't able to coach my daughter. She actually exited baseball or softball and moved into volleyball. So I didn't know a whole lot about volleyball other than watching it. So there you go.
Well, awesome. That's a great service to the community and young men in your area. So thank you for that. Let's get into it. Jamie, question number 1, which is, what is your favorite book and why?
Well, without question, I have to say it's the Bible. Of all the books I've read, and I've read a lot of books over the years, from everything from leadership to development to, academics and things like that. It just, for me, it's a place to live by, right? It's not only wisdom, but it's revelation, it's inspiration, it's a lot of those things that really help you to grow. And I'll probably cheat and tell you a little bit of a question that you didn't ask. And one of the main reasons is, I've moved from, as a young man, being a Christian, to an older adult, and I've been part of ministry for 30 plus years. And so, the Bible is a very strong part of who I am, but it's also a large part of what I do outside of the accounting world. So for me, obviously, the Bible is a big thing.
Amen. And there's a lot to learn in Proverbs. That's something you can read over and over again. You don't need any other life or business or finance books than Proverbs. And I think Jesus talks about money at least as much, or if not more, than anything else. So amen to that, Jamie. You've got it strong with the good book to begin us with. How about question number 2, which is, what is the best advice that you've ever received?
Best advice probably is just to be true to who you are, right? Be intentional about who you are. Don't try to be something you're not. I came from a very humble means, and so, back in the day when name brands were just starting, we didn't get to wear name brands, and I learned that it doesn't matter what was on my shirt or on my shoes. If I just retain that ability to just be genuine and to be who I am, and love people, encourage people, be that kind of person, you would get to where you needed to go. and do it the right way. And so that's the path I've lived by, and it's worked so well for me for now, So.
Jamie, what about a tool or a habit that you've picked up recently that you found beneficial?
Well, aside from accounting, obviously in 30 years of accounting work, you pick up some trades and secrets and how to get, from point A to point B faster. But this is a non-accounting thing. Another thing about me that you wouldn't get, and I probably am cheating going ahead and telling you some of these, but I'm also a musician, not in the sense of playing instruments, but I've been singing for 30 plus years. I've done recordings and things like that. So now that everyone's out of the house, I decided I want to learn. So I picked up the guitar, and I'm trying to teach myself to play the guitar. And so for the past 4 or 5 months, I've been doing an online YouTube, and this guy's teaching me chords and things like that, because I used to sing songs and write songs, but I didn't know how to strum anything with it. So now I'm trying to add that piece of it, at this later stage of life, I should say.
I think that's a great habit, and what a great de-stressor and a way to get out your creative side, especially as a musician. I think that's very cool. Thank you for sharing that. How about question number 4, which is, what is your favorite part of your current job?
The favorite part, obviously in accounting, you take it from ground level to, high level budgeting, and then you do all the monthly stuff, you present the financials. But honestly, I think in this role where I've been is really working with kinder people, if that's a thing, because, where I've been in past places, there's a lot of movement, particularly in the automotive industries and some other manufacturing things, to really squeeze the bottom line. And, sometimes people get missed because you can't see the tree for the forest, you know what I mean, and trying to save and do. And so this has been an opportunity to really get to know people in a smaller organization, but learn more about the people. I've got quality people to work with, opportunities to not only help them, but to, at least find some relationships, so that you're not the guy in the corner everybody's afraid to talk to. So,
You've already shared a lot, so but you sound like an exciting person. So I am happy to ask this question number 5, which is, what's something else personal that you'd be willing to share with the CFO Council?
Okay, well, on a personal basis, I like sports, being a sports guy, and so I'm a big Clemson Tiger fan, although, I did graduate from Wofford, but, one of those things is I really like college football. I really like getting involved and doing things like that. And so my kids, they my oldest 3, my 3 sons, they all graduated from Wofford, and my daughter, she graduated with Clemson last year. And so, they give me a little grief because I tend to be more partial toward the Tigers in terms of, football and things like that. So, they're always saying, Dad, you'd never know you graduated from Wofford. I said, well, I love my Terriers, but, man, I've been a Tiger ever since I was a kid. So, it kind of ran in my blood. And although I wanted to go there, I wasn't able to at the time, with scholarships. And Wofford gave me the scholarship and the opportunities and things like that. So, obviously I'm an alum, and I always will be proud of the Wofford family and all that good stuff. But yeah, I kind of tend to be more, Clemson minded when it comes to sports for the most part. But Wofford's done a lot. They're coming back strong.
That sounds like you got a promotion. You got 4 kids graduated and maybe out of the house. That sounds like you maybe the richest man you've ever been in your life.
Well, I gave myself a raise because my daughter got married a few days after she graduated. And so I've got 2 sons married, and my 3rd son just got engaged, so he's the last of the Mohicans, and he'll be married in about 2 years. So,
well, congratulations.
And
that's
I'm
awesome.
still young, too. How about that?
Question number 6, it happened so fast. Last question is, what's something I didn't ask that I should have asked, and what is your answer to that?
That's a good question. Well, I guess borrowing on what I told you about the Bible, I pastored for about 10 years. One of my job opportunities was I actually went to work for my church back in the early 2000s, we were experiencing a lot of growth. So I stepped away from the marketplace into the ministry side of it, and was really, helping my church to really grow in terms of the business side of it. We bought a former outlet mall, which is, if anybody lives in Spartanburg County knows where the Waccamaw Pottery Mall used to be out on 26. So we actually sold, I was able to sell our existing facility of about 38,000 square feet. We moved into this one, 320,000 square feet, renovated it, upfitted it, and since then it was sold a few years ago for a charter school, and the church was able to take the funds and have 2 locations. So that was kind of a big project and being a part of it. So it was stressful at the time, but it was an opportunity that I served there for about 7 years in the nonprofit side, and then went back into the marketplace, after that. And so that's where I've been. And so I do dual ministry, both in ministry as well as accounting. Accounting lets me earn the living. The ministry, helps me to earn the loving, I guess I can say it that way. So.
Oh, I like it. That was awesome, Jamie. Thank you so much for doing this. And you can really tell you have a heart for service for others and giving back in your community through many different acts of service of your talents in accounting, but also being a singer and a musician and your coaching of young men in baseball. That's awesome. So thank you for being a member of the CFO Council, and thank you for doing this video.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you asking.